guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Florida State Attorney Andrew Bain is very concerned about the actions of Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez with his truthfulness in regards to that alleged accidental posting of the remains of Madeline Soto back in March. He sent a letter, Andrew Bain sent a letter to Marcos Lopez earlier this month, and Lopez stated that he swore under oath to investigators that he accidentally posted the photo of Madeline Soto's remains because it was sent to him by another officer on the scene, even though they were not in charge of the scene. Yet, he tells a local radio station, WDBO, at the end of March, that he wasn't even sure that that was the remains of the missing 13-year-old girl. So is the sheriff telling the truth when he speaks to WESH 2 in this interview? Or is there a little more to his story?
County Sheriff Marco Lopez is speaking out after accidentally posting a photo of 13-year-old Madeline Soto's body on social media in March. Though the sheriff's office was not the lead agency in the investigation into her disappearance, he says it was his team that found what they thought could have been her body.
The major on the scene was actually the person who sent me the photograph. And it's our protocol, I'm the sheriff. You know, we do this.
He says the photo was also entered into evidence. The next day, he says it was accidentally included in a post about seniors on his Instagram page.
Accidentally, when I posted the senior photo array, that was the last picture in the photo array. And it was brought to my attention like 10 minutes later, and I immediately took it down. And I immediately notified legal.
This led to an investigation by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, which found there wasn't enough evidence to show the photo was posted on purpose, resulting in the state attorney filing a non-criminal citation of up to $500 for violating public records laws, which the sheriff says he plans on paying. Sheriff Lopez says after FDLE finished their investigation, his office received a letter from the state attorney confirming that criminal charges wouldn't be filed. But on the back of that letter, there's also a request for an internal investigation. It says it's a formal request for an investigation into whether the sheriff's, quote, inconsistent statements violate the sheriff's office's standards of conduct policy.
He has made some inconsistent statements, and I applaud State Attorney Andrew Bain for looking further into this. This situation could land the sheriff on the Brady list, and that is a list that no police officer, no law enforcement official wants to be on.
Referring to statements he made to FDLE, the Kissimmee police chief, and on a radio show.
And I think a conversation between myself and the current state attorney could have cleared a lot of this up because it's subject to interpretation. There was never a lie. There is no lie.
The sheriff's office says they're working on a response.
The sheriff believes he had no inconsistent statements. Andrew Bain, again, not necessarily agreeing with the sheriff. Let's pull up the interview he did with WDBO in late March, and let's see what he had to say to the local radio station.
It's good to speak with Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez. The sheriff joins me this morning here on WDBO on a morning full of breaking news. Sheriff, I wanted to ask you about the Madeline Soto case before we move on. I know there's not a whole lot you can say. The Kissimmee police chief held that presser last week, didn't say a whole lot about what was going on, and that's certainly understandable. They want to get everything right. I also know that the Osceola Sheriff's Office issued an apology for apparently posting the photo of a body on social media believed to be that of Madeline. Is there anything you can tell us this morning, Sheriff, about what that happened there in this case?
Well, first of all, like you said, it is an active case. It's Kissimmee Police Department. They don't really want us to talk about it because, we don't want to jeopardize that case. As for the photo, there was an apology issued, but it wasn't actually the body. It was an area of interest where there was a body found, and no one ever came out and said directly it was the victim. So there are people politically trying to use this as an advantage to use the death of a child to bring some light to themselves. And it's sad when those things happen. And but other than that, we're hoping that they come to a closure soon, and we get this guy for murder. But like I said, it's a Kissimmee case, and they really don't want people to talk about it because, it's a very important case, and we don't want to jeopardize the investigation.
Well, I certainly echo those comments, Sheriff. Take your time, get it right. This guy, Stephen Stearns, is a piece of work. He's the primary suspect. He's in jail right now, so there's no pressure from us here at WDBO, certainly, in local media to rush this thing. Get it right. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, he'll be locked up for a while, and then they're doing a great job. Just these cases, once you start the arrest and start charging with those charges, a speedy trial starts. So right now he's in jail. He's not coming out. Let's get it done right, like you say, and let's bring closure to this case the right way.
He states in that interview with WDBO, the end of March, that it was never confirmed that it was the remains of Madeline Soto. And then he goes on to tell FDLE and now West News that it was the remains of Madeline Soto, and it's normal procedure because he's the sheriff. Sounds like Andrew Bain has some good reasons to investigate the integrity of Sheriff Marcos Lopez, in my opinion. Now, I'm not stating it was done on purpose. I do believe it was an accident, but accidentally posting the remains of a child, it's just not okay. It should never have happened. And I have to question why another sheriff's deputy or investigator on the scene was taking a photo of the remains of Madeline on his cell phone, regardless of whether it was a county-owned cell phone or personal cell phone. And that's another good question. Was that a cell phone paid for by the county, or was it a personal cell phone? But the question is, why was he taking a photo and then sending it to the sheriff? Evidence should not be taken on a cell phone, I wouldn't believe. Now, again, I could be wrong, but if that was the case and it was sent to him it needed to be sent to him for whatever reason, why wasn't that photograph deleted and wiped from both of those cell phones as soon as it was confirmed of what they needed or didn't need? It should have been gone. It should not have been on his camera roll 24 hours later when he was posting photos of a senior event. And 10 minutes? 10 minutes is a long time, sir, to have something on the internet. And as we know, folks got a hold of screenshots of this image. And thank gosh I haven't seen it, and I don't want to see it. I want to remember Madeline like these photographs here. But 10 minutes is a very long time when it comes to posting something on the internet. So I'm curious to see what this investigation finds out. It sounds like Andrew Bain is going to be calling him into court in December, and we'll see what happens. Again, he could end up on the Brady list, which is a list of law enforcement that has had questionable actions done against them, whether they've been accused of lying, some sort of deceptions, other sorts of things that could make them not the best witness for the state, or basically they wouldn't be reliable on the stand. And he may believe that this is not going to affect the case against Stephen Stearns, but I am sure Stearns' lawyer is going to bring that up in court. He would be stupid not to. I mean, we know we have plenty of evidence. The investigators have plenty of evidence against him for the CSAM and for her alleged murder, okay? But they're going to use this card. They're going to use it, and they're going to throw it in the face of the district attorney, the state attorney's office. So this should never have happened, and $500 out of his pocket, and it better be out of his pocket, not the county's pocket, is chump change, and I think he owes the people more answers than that. So let me know what you guys think of this. Like I said, he seems to have a bit of a varying story on that, and I applaud Mr. Bain for not giving up civilly, and to see, what else is going on here. All right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of the day, and most of all, stay safe.